Hi everyone, Aiden here with etrailer. If you have a 2024 Ford Maverick and you're looking for a tonneau cover that doesn't break the bank and gives you the most usable space out of your bed whenever it's opened up, then I think the Access TonnoSport Soft roll-up tonneau cover could be a good fit for you. We're going to be taking a look at it and later be showing you how to install it. Let's get started. So this is going to be a soft roll-up cover. It's good for basic weather protection and can help improve the aerodynamics of your truck a bit for somewhat better fuel economy. You've already got pretty good fuel economy on the Maverick, but this will help with those aerodynamics a little bit, and more than anything, just keep your contents of your bed out of sight and out of mind. I would say though, if you regularly keep things in the bed that you want to keep protected from potentially being stolen, a hard cover is the way to go, because any soft cover can be cut through with a knife pretty easily. And if someone is determined enough to see what's in there and try to take it, this isn't going to stop them if they have a knife. So if you're just looking for that general weather protection, some protection for cargo, say on like a road trip or something where you're not full-time keeping things back here, then a soft cover can just get the job done and do just fine. As for the style of cover you get here, it's going to be a roll-up. When we go to open it up, there's going to be a trigger release on the driver's side corner that we just need to pull. You'll see it lift up and we can start to fold it back and roll it up. Roll-up covers are generally very quick and easy to operate. And as a fellow Maverick owner myself, trust me when I say I know that bed space is at a premium here. So if you do need to haul something, you want to get every bit of it that you can. And a soft roll-up cover, I think, is one of the best ways to get that. Because when it's all opened up like this, it's going to take up minimal space from the bulkhead into the bed. And because it's soft, you can compress it and move it around a little bit more if you did need to haul a large box like a washing machine or dryer and shove it closer to the cab of the truck. The other advantage of the soft material when fully rolled up and buckled in like this is the fact that it doesn't take up much room height-wise either. The back window on the Maverick isn't that tall, so if you want to have the cover fully open, it's good to know that it's not going to block your view out your rear view mirror. My own personal truck has a hard folding cover, and while I love it, when it is fully open upright like this, it's going to be blocking my entire back window. It's nice with a soft cover like this because you don't necessarily have to make that trade-off. You can have full access to the bed while still being able to see out the back. The vinyl material of the cover will resist UV fading pretty well, but it is inevitable that over time it will begin to stretch. When it does, you've got built-in tensioners that offer plenty of adjustment so you can tighten it up and keep it nice and taut against the bed so that you make sure you protect it against water and maybe snow, if it snows in your area, from pooling up on top of the cover and further damaging it and stretching it over time. It's going to be a really simple clamp-on installation, and you get 3 clamps per side, no drilling required. And speaking from experience, these clamps do hold on really well. These are the exact same style of clamps that my own personal tonneau cover has, and I've used it for well over a year now, coming up on 2. And again, I've never had any problems with them. And even when I go to take my cover on and off, they haven't had any issues then either. When you're unrolling the cover and going to close it back up, the process is still pretty quick, especially again with the Maverick's bed being shorter. When you throw that latch, it's going to pull tension over the cover, but you will have to go back through and press down on the hook and loop on the sides because on its own, it just doesn't grab on super tight. And if you want the best water protection, then you'll want to press this down and it'll just give you a nicer, cleaner fit. And that's really the one downside I have with soft covers in general like this, is that you have to go back through and do that. You get pretty used to it. But if you're opening the cover and closing it really frequently, you might get a little bit annoyed with that. But overall, I think the Access TonnoSport is a really solid option for a soft roll-up cover. I've installed it on a number of different trucks at this point, and the fit on the Maverick is no different. It's simple, it's low profile, and very cost-effective. But as a Ford Maverick owner myself, and one that's worked with a hard tonneau cover for almost 2 years now, I feel like I have to at least drop that in case you're looking to make that upgrade. Not everyone has the need for a hard cover or the budget for one, and that's totally okay. But if that's something you're even remotely considering, I'd strongly recommend looking at the Lomax stance. I've used it on my own truck for a long time now, and I've absolutely loved it. And it offers a lot of the same benefits that the Access TonnoSport here does, because it's much thinner than most hard tonneau covers, and when it is fully open, it leaves just as much of your bed space open, if not a little bit more than even this cover does. So it's a really nice option for me because I do use my truck bed fairly frequently, and when I do need access to the back window, I just take the cover out. It's super simple with just 2 bolts. But again, it's not for everyone. It definitely is a more premium option. So if you're looking to save some money and you're just wanting some basic protection for your bed, this is the way to go. And if you're curious what that installation process looks like, just follow along and we'll show you how we got it put on. We're going to start this installation off by looking at our side rails. The side closest to the camera there is going to have that black hook. That's going to be the tailgate latch end. And on the side edges of the rail, there's going to be a long strip of hook and loop. That's going to face towards the outside of our truck. That's where the tonneau cover actually cinches down. So looking at those 2 things, we can tell that the rail I have today is our passenger side rail. When you place this up here, it's going to just sit over the lip of your bed rail and push as close to the cab as it can go. And you also want to pay attention to your clamps, because those will have a proper orientation for your truck, and you get 3 per side. What I'm going to be looking at there is the bottom of the clamp. These brackets have a shorter end like you see over here and a longer end like you see over here. And you can pair those up, 1 long and 1 short. You can pair them up 2 short ends together. You can pair them up 2 long ends together. The way it's going to work out for us is by having 1 long end and 1 short end. I've found that it's better to have the long end on the carriage bolt side and the short end on the nut side like this, because as it clamps down and cinches around our bed rail, it's going to make sure that clamp is pulled evenly and we don't have as much of that clamp not engaging with the teeth, if that makes sense. But once you've got all that set, you've got your clamps loosely ready to go, you can take the side rail, put it up into place, and if you've got a friend to help you out, maybe have them hold it from the outside of the bed like this while we get our first clamps installed. So with that clamp opened up, we can just put it up around our rails and start to hand tighten it. It'll reach a point where it should hold itself in place at least a little bit, still support the side rail, but you can use that opportunity to grab your 1/2-inch socket or a wrench and begin to tighten that down. I like to do the middle one first because then I can let go of the rail, it'll support itself, and it'll allow me to put my other 2 clamps in. Now, as we place these clamps in, it's really helpful to provide a little bit of downward pressure on that side rail so that we ensure it's as flush as possible with the bed rail. And once you've got all 3 in place, you can repeat that process on the other side if you haven't already. There's no exact placement for these. You just want to put 1 as close to the tailgate as it can go, 1 as close to the cab as it can go, and then 1 roughly in the middle as evenly as you can get it. From here, we're almost ready to get the cover on the rails. We just have to do a little bit of light prep work. So taking a look at the roll, we can see that this is the top material right here, and I know that it's the front because I have these buckles on the end. Take that front section and flip it upside down. And underneath, you should find a track that has these square nuts trapped inside. There's going to be 2, 1 for either end, and during shipping, they could have slid anywhere, so just find them and push 1 to either end. From there, we can grab the tensioners. These will be labeled with an L or an R for left driver side or right passenger side. And we want to get these installed. The smaller piece in the track here, you can see there's a jut out that will match up with the channel, and we want this thinner section facing the outside edge, just like this. In the bag that has those tensioners, you'll have 2 different bolts. Grab the longer ones and pair it up with a flat washer. Feed that down through the hole, line it up with that square nut, and just loosely install that so that you can't remove it. Repeat that on both sides, and before we take the cover up, just unbuckle the clasps so that when we get this up there, nothing's going to get trapped or pinched underneath. We can take that pre-assembled roll and set it down on those side rails that we installed earlier. making sure that this flap here isn't folded underneath itself as I set it onto that kind of bulkhead section. There's a little bit of side-to-side play here. You don't have to get it super perfect right now, but get it roughly as centered and even as you can. This tensioner is going to have two latches. The first one is that one that we saw earlier that had the long bolt and washer. It'll hook under that side rail. And this second bracket will also hook under the side rail, but you'll notice that there's a hole on top of this bracket and a hole on top of the side rail. And ours are a bit misaligned right now. So that's where this front to back adjustment comes into play, where we can pull it a bit forward. And that helps us just make sure that the hole cover is aligned front to back. Take the shorter bolts in your kit and pass them through those properly aligned holes and secure it with a nut on the underside. Space can be a little bit tight here on the Maverick, but it's not too bad. Just get them all loosely installed on both sides, and we can come back through with our same 1/2 inch socket to tighten these down, and you will need an adjustable wrench or a 1/2 inch wrench to hold the nut on the underside or the bolt on the top side of this second set of hardware. All we got to do now, though, is test fit our tonneau cover. So let's just unroll it towards the tailgate. As we're going, we're making sure that everything fits between the two side rails properly, especially the latch section at the end here. So end to end, we're making sure it fits proper. It closes without too much resistance, and we've got proper tailgate clearance. And we're able to not only close it, but open it properly without it getting stuck on the cover. If you're happy with the way things look, though, then that'll do it for our look at and installation of the Access TonnoSport Soft roll-up tonneau cover on our 2024 Ford Maverick. My name's Aiden, and thank you for watching.